Hey guys, welcome back to Cultivation with Christy. I'm Christy. Just got back from the Homestead Festival. Adon helped me move the chicken coop. And it was a very hot, very long, very great day. I learned a lot of new stuff. I sat in on Natalie Argo's talk about worm farming, so I'm really excited to get my worm farm up and going a little better production than it has been. And I met my homestead hero garden goddess Jessica Sowards and got to talk to her a little bit, so that was fun and exciting. I also got to meet her husband and watch him do a talk, Jeremiah Sowards. So all good things today. I actually watched part of a talk on fruit trees, so that was good. I was telling you guys the other day about the front of the yard, and I realized we had not been up here in a while, so I thought I would show you what's going on. Look at this purple coneflower, or echinacea. I got these plants from my neighbor last year, and they just took off this year. I'm going to have to divide them and give them some of them back to her, because hers got some kind of disease and she ended up having to pull all of them. So I have a bunch, and this one in particular is doing so well. I need to harvest some of this because the purple coneflower is medicinal. And then I wanted to show you, I usually cover it this time of year just because of all the birds, but I harvested a handful of blueberries yesterday, actually more than a handful, and then I have even more today that needs to be harvested, so that's exciting. We got like a half an inch of rain in maybe 20 minutes today during the Homestead Festival and here. And these usually come on a little bit later, but I see some of them have shriveled up, so I don't know. I've got a landscape company that came out and looked at the front of the house to help me rip up the rubber mulch and all of these bushes and stuff, because I want to put medicinal herbs and rose bushes and stuff out here, like rose bushes with the hips, and that's what I have over here. I let it dry out a little too much because it's over here by itself, but this is Rosa rugosa rose, and it's got some rose hips that I can probably cut off and harvest, but like I said, it looks a little rough because I neglected it a little bit. Sorry about that, but it'll bounce back. I'm not worried about it. So I will plan to do a garden tour probably Monday, because I'm going back to the Homestead Festival tomorrow, and I doubt, well, I got back early enough today, but I doubt I'll have the capacity to do that tomorrow, but I'll film that sometime, probably Monday morning, and put that out for you guys. Wait, I work Monday, so maybe not. We'll see if I can get it done tomorrow to put out Monday or Wednesday, and I'll let you know. But I did get all of the walkways weeded. I've seen after some rain it has popped up, and I need to spray the edge with the vinegar so maybe I can keep it down. But all of this was nothing but grass, as you can tell. Like, all of these are the weeds I pulled out of the garden that have shriveled up in the heat yesterday. And then all of this area you saw in that last photo that I put up for one of the videos, it was all weedy. So all of this has been pulled out of the garden. And then I finally pulled out all the peas, and I do have a mouse or several mice in there that I need to take care of. And I need to harvest my mullein right here that is flowering. That is a medicinal herb that I haven't yet talked about. And I got tomatoes coming in this year. I'm so excited that after a year of bad compost, my new expansion garden bed is finally producing something. So I'm really pleased with that. And then, like I said, with the addition of me really getting on this worm castings, hopefully I'll have enough. And then my chickens volunteer pumpkin plant looks like it's producing some, which of course I've already got squash bugs, which that's a whole nother video. I think I've talked about it in a couple of videos, but I smushed one in here already. But I said I wasn't even going to plant squash this year, and then the chickens planted it for me. And then I got 2 at the swap, which those are starting to look better. Actually, I said I was going to pull them up because they looked like they were dying. But it may have been from all of that rain that we got for several days, and they weren't able to get the nutrients that they needed. So I got some little baby patty pan squash in there. And then this one's greening up. This is a vine. What is this? Oh, I guess this type is a vining squash. But it's got little babies in there too. So I don't know. I don't remember. I have to go back. And then this plant is getting ready to bloom. That's the flower I keep telling you guys about that I really like. Okay, I said I wasn't going to do a garden tour, but here I am showing you all the pretty things. These are the candy stripe zinnias. There's one, and then I have the other down here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe it's back on the other side. Anyway, there's another one. And look, my sweet pea flowers finally bloomed. That one, and then this one's a different one. This one's new. Look how pretty that one is. They smell wonderful. Jessica Sowards was correct in that they smell great. And I don't know if borage dies after it blooms, but this one's struggling. Probably because there was a day I let the garden go a day too long. And it really needed to be watered, but this one's okay. We got some pretty blooms on it too. And these are edible. My yarrow is blooming. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I wanted to come out here to see the garden, to see how it fared in the storm, because it was pretty rough in Columbia, but I assume it got the same here. But at least everything got a nice watering. But anyway, hope your week is going well, because mine is awesome. I made a fool of myself in front of Jess, but you know what? What is it when you meet your heroes, right? You gotta make a fool of yourself. You gotta be real. But it was worth it. It was totally worth it. I'll probably talk to her again tomorrow. We'll see what she's got going on. And then they are speaking together tomorrow afternoon. So I do plan on staying for that. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. Stay tuned for garden tour 5, I think. You got a sneak peek, but it's definitely starting to come into its own. Oh, and I got my first cucumber harvest, like real harvest, for the first time in 4 years. So I'm really pleased with the compost that I got, because everything's doing really well. And I think the cucumbers, it helped for all this rain at the start of the year. So I will be doing pickles soon, and I will probably take you along as I do that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. Until next time.